Welcome back to Urban Legends Across the U.S. Today our journey takes us to North Carolina. Known for the Wright brothers completing their first flight in Kitty Hawk, the birthplace of Pepsi Cola and Krispy Kreme. But if you look further, you'll find dark secrets hidden in the mountains. Enjoy. The Devil's Tramping Ground. For more than a century, a barren circular patch in Bear Creek, North Carolina, where nothing can grow, has been the center of supernatural theory in the Carolina woods. Known as the Devil's Tramping Ground, the circle is 15 feet in diameter and widely thought to be where the devil dances. People say that the devil goes there to walk in circles as he thinks up new means of causing trouble for humanity. There, sometimes during the dark of night, the majesty of the underworld of evil silently tramps around that bare circle, for any object placed within the circle resides outside the circle after nightfall. To test the myth, a local journalist and reporter decided to camp in the middle of the circle. Although the reporter did awake still in the center at sunrise, he recalled hearing ghostly footsteps surrounding the tent in the night. The Devil's Tramping Ground is mentioned in 2 horror novels by Poppy Z. Bright, Lost Souls and Drawing Blood. Blackbeard's Ghost. The inlet, now known as Teach's Hole, near Ocracoke Island, was a special place for the pirate Edward Teach, better known as Blackbeard. It's where he preferred to anchor his ship, and where he met his fate. The ferocious pirate was wanted dead by hundreds, and a ship commanded by John Maynard and sent by Virginia Governor Alexander Spotswood set out to make it so. Blackbeard and his crew were ambushed at Teach's Hole, where he was shot 5 times and stabbed 20. His corpse was decapitated, and his head was hung from the bowsprit of Maynard's ship as a trophy. Legend has it that Blackbeard's body swims around Teach's Hole, searching for its head. It appears on stormy nights as a light and a voice shouting, "Where's my head?" Duel at Hammock House. In the early 18th century, Beaufort, North Carolina was a successful commercial port that connected the state to colonies in the Caribbean, New England, and Canada. Hammock House served as an inn for the many sailors who passed through on business. One such traveler, Captain Madison Mad Brothers, searched along the coast for a potential wife. He courted the orphaned daughter of a wealthy Baltimore family. Miss Samantha Ashby agreed to wed him, despite his fierce temper, which earned him his nickname. Upon spotting his betrothed dancing with another young man, Brothers lashed out in a fury at Hammock House, killing the man before realizing he was not a suitor, but Miss Ashby's long-lost brother. Hammock House is now a private residence located on Front Street in Beaufort. The old burying ground cemetery is located nearby off Ann Street. The grave of the sailor who was buried standing up can be found near the back of the cemetery, close to the Purvis Chapel. However, the grave marker doesn't give the name of the grave's occupant, only stating British naval officer, buried standing in salute to His Majesty King George III. The Brown Mountain Lights. In Linville Gorge near Marion, North Carolina, unexplained flickering lights appear to move along the mountain ridge, resembling a group of people searching by torchlight. Visible from the Blue Ridge Parkway, the Brown Mountain Lights have birthed several legends. From the ghosts of slaves seeking their masters, to townspeople searching for bodies of murder victims. The phenomenon was even the inspiration for Scotty Weisman's bluegrass song of the same name. Some of the earliest reports of ghost lights came from Indians, settlers, and even Civil War soldiers. Thousands have witnessed the spectacle, which is ongoing to this day. The lights have been investigated 3 times by the United States government and countless times by private groups, and often studied by students at Appalachian University. The lights were even featured in an episode of X-Files in 1999. You can look for the lights at several easy-to-find viewing points. The lights are often reported as small, star-like dots of light, comparable to stars. Motion of the lights have varied by reports, from slow movements to almost firework-type action. While researching these lights, I found that they are also somehow linked to abductions, and quickly learned that if I went down that rabbit hole, it would require an entire video all by itself. The Pink Lady. Asheville's Omni Grove Park Inn was built in 1913 and has harbored guests including Harry Houdini, F. Scott Fitzgerald, and even President Barack Obama, and a phantom known as the Pink Lady. In the 1920s, a young woman fell from the balcony of the 5th floor of the inn, attached to room 545. Since then, an apparition taking the form of a woman in a pink ball gown has remained present throughout the inn. A kind-hearted ghost, the Pink Lady appreciates playing small pranks, such as rearranging objects in the inn's rooms. The Wampus Cat. According to urban legend, the Wampus Cat was once a beautiful Cherokee woman. She sought to understand the sacred hunting rituals, those which only men in the tribe were privy to. One evening before leaving for a hunt, she followed them, shrouded in a cougar's skin. The sorcerer, the man leading the ritual, caught the woman and cast a spell on her as punishment for intruding on their secrets. The cougar's skin then became her own. Now possessing the ability to enthrall others with her voice, the Wampus Cat despises all men, but especially holy men, priests, and shamans. And many say the cougar can be heard roaming the Appalachian Mountains. Specter at the gold mine. During the gold rush, Skin Flint McIntosh owned a property in Caribous County, known to have an abundant amount of gold. Though McIntosh was wealthy himself, he refused to pay his miners fair wages and to provide them with proper safety equipment. Joe McGee, the best miner in the county, was aware of McIntosh's reputation, but he agreed to work for him under one condition. Should he die while working, McIntosh would pay Mrs. McGee $2,000 so that she would not need to provide for herself. After just a few weeks in his new position, Mr. McGee did not return home. Mrs. McGee contacted McIntosh, who refused to pay her and denied that her husband had died. McIntosh was then visited and threatened by Mr. McGee's ghost, who told him the location of his body and demanded that he dig it up and pay his wife. McIntosh complied, but only when threatened by Joel's old friends. Word spread about the haunted mine, and no one would work for McIntosh. To this day, the ghost of Mr. McGee still haunts the mines. The Pactolus Light. A man enrolled in East Carolina University's teaching program fell in love with the woman of his dreams. When the semester ended and he had to return to his home in Virginia, he promised to meet her in Pactolus when her train would arrive for the next semester. He planned to propose to her as soon as they could be together again. He waited at Pactolus on the day she was to return, but the train had been delayed. Dusk had fallen, so the man set out on his horse and began to leave. He was jumped on his way home, though his horse managed to escape. The girl died broken-hearted and without the knowledge of what had happened to her love. Shortly after his death, the Pactolus lights began to appear. According to ECU students, if you drive down Carl Morris Road and flash lights 3 times in a row, the Pactolus light will blink as a sign of the man's ghost, still waiting for the train, even after death. The North Carolina State Capitol. During the mid-19th century, a woman was murdered at the Capitol's front steps, and since the incident, some have witnessed shrill screams by the front steps in the heart of Raleigh, North Carolina. Believed to belong to the victim's ghost, the cries attracted the attention of ghost researchers in 2004, who collected electronic voice phenomena and used infrared cameras to search for the spirit. Though the results were inconclusive, more claims of paranormal activity have been made since then. Visitors often report spotting shadowy figures outside of the building. The state capitol has a few more urban legends attached to its name, including escape tunnels, secret rooms, and a building simply known as the Third House that seemingly held illegal activities. The vampire beast of Bladenboro. Surrounded by pine forests and swamps at the southeastern edge of the North Carolina Piedmont, Bladenboro is an isolated community with a monster of its own. Evidence and reports of dogs being slaughtered by a large, panther-like creature in the area have surfaced for years. Many of the dogs' bodies were found to have been drained of blood. Professional hunters began traveling to Bladenboro in hopes of catching the beast after reports surfaced of the first attack on a human in the community. Bladenboro Mayor Bob Fussell and Chief Force demanded an end to the hunt, after concerns regarding the safety of having so many hunters and citizens searching for a beast in the dark. A bobcat much larger than average was caught by a local farmer, then displayed in the center of town with a sign declaring, "This is the beast of Bladenboro." Since then, no other killings have occurred. To some people, seeing a bunch of fools chase through the woods looking for an imaginary monster can be a good laugh. There have been persistent rumors that a group of men in Bladenboro fanned the flames of the story, spreading more and more exaggerated tales of the beast to the news media, just to see who would believe them. The beast of Bladenboro may have been the largest snipe hunt in history. In 2021, a documentary about the beast of Bladenboro was written by David Weatherly and directed by Billy Lewis, if you want to check it out. If any of you have seen it or plan to watch it, please let me know how it was. If you have a story you would like to see featured here, please email me at duchessdark676@gmail.com. Thanks for watching. See you next time.